Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know who's trying to add a note-taking um, AI, I guess, but we don't permit that in our meetings. So I'm just gonna exit out.
Okay.
Um, Thank you so much. Let me just turn on my camera. Sorry, Elizabeth, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Is Pallavi going to be joining us as well, or do you want me to go ahead and get started?
Yes, she is. Give me just a second. Let me find
Okay,
her.
of course. Thank you, Danielle, for making the time for this. I know this is an uncomfortable process. I apologize because you aren't a MasterCard employee. I do have to go through your employer, and that's what caused a bit of delay here. So apologies for that.
Okay, no worries. Do what you need to.
I'll just wait for all of you and then we can get started.
Yeah, it'll just be a minute.
Of course.
Sorry.
So where are you located, Daniel?
No, sorry.
Where are you located?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
You're in Austin? So am
Yeah.
I.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So we're subject to the same traffic issues.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm in
Oh,
southwest Austin near Oak Hill. So if you know, the construction over there is ridiculous.
I'm sure.
I have to pick
Sure.
up my daughter at National Gymnastics, which is on 71. It's like 2 miles west from the split, and
Mhm.
it takes me like 25 minutes just to get there. You know, it's
Oh, that's
crazy.
awful. That is awful.
Yeah. How about you? Where do you live?
So I'm somewhere I'm really bad at directions. I wish I could tell you exactly where I am. But I believe I am in North somewhere,
Okay.
North Austin somewhere. But yeah, so same thing though. We have to leave like 30 minutes early to pick anyone up. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
But at least the weather's not terrible today. Uh,
Yeah, it's pretty nice actually. I'm waiting for it to cool off though. 95 is not working for me. I'm from Czech Republic originally, and
oh,
I grew up in a very cold country. Like most of the year,
yeah,
it's below 70 degrees. So for
yeah.
me, 104 is not great.
No, no, of course not. Of course not. We spent some time in Prague a couple of years ago. Beautiful, just stunningly gorgeous. Um,
Yeah. We,
Austin
you
doesn't
know,
compare.
we broke away from the Russians in a very nice way compared to the Ukrainians. So I think it was a good thing, but it shows us how difficult it would have been. We're a small country, so it's Ukraine has
Yeah,
resources. How there's no way we could have done it, but
yeah,
fortunately politics did work for us.
yeah.
Okay, sorry. Pallavi got dragged into another meeting, so she might be a few minutes late if she joins. So we can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I'll go ahead and get started and just introduce myself, Danielle, and sort of what we're doing here. So my team looks at potential or alleged violations of MasterCard policies and procedures. So if, for example, an allegation is raised to us for insider threat, our insider threat team in the course of their, monitoring of employee or, staff activity, is alerted to something that is concerning, they'll raise it to us. They do the initial risk assessment. I know that you were taken offline. That happens when they just want to put a pause on everything. So that we can speak with you and understand what's going on. So that was the reason for that, just in case you may not have any malicious intent with regard to MasterCard, but unfortunately there are, some people that do. And so it is their policy to sort of cease any risk, any potential risk, until we're able to get through this entire process. So What I'm doing here is very simple. I am just asking you questions, writing down the answers.
Okay.
I make no decisions. I am a fact finder only.
Okay.
So whatever you tell me, I will write it down, package it in a report, and I will provide it to the decision makers on, what steps they want to take.
Okay.
Those decision makers are, our head of employment law at MasterCard, the EVP for employment law, the EVP for employee relations. We have the chief compliance officer engaged. We have lead P&C, so lead HR, and lead counsel for your business unit, and then upper level management in your business unit. So my job is just to answer, ask you the questions, write down your answers, provide it to them. They make a decision. So I can try to answer any questions for you about, oftentimes employees want to know how long is this going to take. Unfortunately, I have no control over that. Typically, I have found that the process takes 2 weeks. When an employee's access has been disabled, we do try to push them to move faster, because obviously your work is being interrupted. Your life is being interrupted, really. This is not a fun process for anyone to go through. So we certainly try to push it as quickly as possible. But again, I don't control that. So unfortunately, I can keep nudging, but I can't, make them do anything. Employees also want to know, what's going to happen to me. I don't make that decision. That is up to those higher level people that I talked about. My job, again, is just to convey, your side of the story to them. So in a way, I'm kind of like an advocate, someone who's just explaining the facts as they are, right?
Okay.
And then before I begin, I do need to go through a quick introduction with you. We do this before all of our calls, just to ensure that you understand who I am. So just bear with me for a moment. So as I mentioned, this is an internal investigation into a potential policy violation. I am an attorney. I represent MasterCard in my capacity as an attorney. That means MasterCard is my client. So I don't represent you. I don't represent any particular MasterCard employee. I represent the company, right?
Okay.
I am, again, here a fact finder. I am gathering information in the course of this confidential investigation. We ask that you not discuss anything we talk about with anyone at MasterCard, because, again, we like to protect the confidentiality of the investigation, the integrity of the investigation. We don't want there to be any gossip or anything else, around happening at the company. You are free to discuss it with anyone at Tech Mahindra. That is your employer. You are absolutely permitted to discuss anything with them, but we just ask that you not, break that confidentiality within MasterCard itself. Your manager is aware that we are conducting an investigation. They are aware that your access has been cut. So you don't need to worry about that. They know that you're not just, playing hooky, that we are in the process of something, and that's why you're not at work. Do you have any questions for me on any of that?
Well, I'd love to know what this is about, because
Yeah, I'm sure. I know it's not fun. I will jump into that right away. If you could just tell me really quickly what your role is here at MasterCard and how long you've been here, just so I have some context.
Yeah, so my role, actually, I'm not really sure what my title is, but I'm a BMC software developer, designer, solution provider.
Okay.
I can't access my profile right now, so I can't tell you what my title is on that form,
Of course. No, I understand. So basically, what programs are you working on then for MasterCard?
So I work with BMC software products, which are basically everything from discovery to CMDB, IT management, people management, relationships between objects which are confined to the CMDB, which is configuration management database. So there's a lot of data that I'm working with that I have to process, write SQL queries, write workflow logic into a tool that's called Spoon, and then Spoon gets it's like a step process. You create a couple of steps and then you create a
Mhm.
job and that processes the data that you feed it to
Mhm.
from a database, and then
Yeah,
it does something to it, whatever I need to do there.
perfect. No, that's really helpful. And you've been with MasterCard for what, 8 months, I think?
I think so, yeah. I
Okay,
think March 1st is probably my first
since
day.
March. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay. So the reason I'm reaching out is our insider threat team ID'd a forum site called
Yeah,
blackholesurfer.com. Is
that's my
that your
website.
site?
That's my
That's your
website.
website? Okay.
And
Um,
so when I worked at BMC and when I worked at Geico and H&R Block, I use that website to go find solutions that I put in there um, to remember them. So when I work at Charles Schwab, I would save the pattern that I created because it can be used somewhere else. Okay, it can also be used on the BMC community web pages. So that particular pattern, I took that pattern because Tim Watkins was asking me for a solution. And I knew that solution was already on my website. And that website is password protected. You can't get to it without a password. Okay. So I went to the website, pulled the pattern down, and I shared that with him to show him, hey, this is the loose solution that you probably want to use. He turned it down eventually for whatever reason, but I kind of thought it was probably related to that because when I shared the pattern with him, he did not react the way I thought he should have reacted. Like, hey, great, that's good news, thank you. He reacted like, oh, you got this from somewhere else. Oh, it's my website, and any pattern that I create, I write it down so I can remember this, so it can come up in the future for other things. So I converted the pattern to be used by MasterCard. I rewrote the paths and everything, and I shared it with him as a MasterCard solution. He declined it, that's his choice, but that's what that was about. Black Hole Surfer is my
oh,
website. If you look at who it is registered to, it's my name.
yeah. So, okay, I just want to unpack what you said here because I'm not familiar with a lot of the things that you just mentioned.
Okay.
Okay, so you said there's a pattern that you created that you shared with someone at
Yes.
MasterCard. Can you give me more details
All
about
right.
that?
So
So, what was the pattern? Yeah.
whenever, when you're working with operating systems, there is a path to a certain location. And that location, if you put a JSON file, you can put data into the JSON file that can be read by what's called Discovery. And Discovery will read in the content of the JSON file and it will put that into the what's called the configuration item, which is CI. So basically, what we would do, we would enrich the data that you currently have in the BMC CMDB, right? So the pattern is maybe this long, and it says go here, collect the data from here, and then convert it into a document. I think in that case, so a document is created eventually by this pattern, and that's what I shared with Tim, and that's it. You know.
So, forgive me, as I mentioned, I'm a lawyer. I do not understand this at all. So, this pattern that you create, is it code?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, it's code that you create to search a database.
Yeah, well, no, it searches an operating system, and
Okay,
it says, SQL and / Windows users, and it goes in that path, and it looks if there's any JSON file there. If there's JSON file there,
okay,
it will read it, and it will read it into Discovery. Now, this pattern was not used, okay? It was not deployed. I was just sharing the information with him, and the reason I went to the website because I knew it was there. Okay, so I wanted to quickly share it with him without having to retype it. So I just went to the website. Like I said, it's password protected only by me. I'm the only one I can access it. And I copied that bit of code. So you could say code, but what it is really, it's a set of instructions. Do
okay.
this, use this class, which would be a document class, go to this path, collect the information, read the file, and then push the data back into what's called the CMDB. So CMDB is a record in a database with about 800 fields, And one of those fields you
Mhm.
can use to populate with this data. So I gave it to him as a solution. Say, hey, if you're looking for a solution to this issue, you can use this pattern right here. That's what that was about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you gave this pattern, the set of instructions to, let's see, to search an operating system, look at a JSON file. If there is, it will read it and pull it into Discovery. And Discovery is a MasterCard tool.
Right. Discovery is it's a tool that gets on your computer and it reads information about you on your computer. So we're mostly looking at servers. So only servers would be probably subject to this only. Okay. And again, the pattern was just a suggestion. It was not deployed. It was just, I was sharing it with him. Take a look at it, see if it
Okay.
helps. You know, he could have used it or he could not have used it. He chose not to. But
Yeah. Okay. So who was the person that you shared it with?
Tim Watkins.
And what does Tim Watkins do?
Tim Watkins is the actual developer of BMC Discovery. Now, I held positions in his job before, so I know exactly what he does. So I was trying to share
Okay.
with him, hey, let me help you get your job done faster. Here it is. You know, he declined it. You know, like
Uh-huh.
he kind of turned me
And
down.
did
Like
he ask you?
I'm sorry.
Did Tim Watkins ask you for this file?
No, we had a meeting and he was saying, we're looking for people to give us suggestions on this issue. So I immediately recognized that issue as something that I've already solved in the past. So that's where I went to pull the script and share it with him.
Okay. Okay. And so where had you created this pattern? Did you do it, just on your own, or was it while you were at another company?
So when I was working at Charles Schwab, I wrote the pattern for them and it's there currently in use, right? So I know it's a working pattern. Now, whenever I create something just to remember, I'll save it on my website so I have that reference in the future. Because these are complex patterns, you don't want to really have to rewrite them from scratch. So on my website,
Okay.
I went and not from Charles Schwab, but at home, I logged in, I retyped the same pattern on my website so I could have it saved on that website.
Okay.
Anybody that works in this field will do things like that. They will save things like SQL queries, whatever it is. I've been to this website a couple of times actually. I never really got a post on it. So there is a message that says this location is unsafe, but I get the same message when I go to Discovery. When I go to Discovery, I get the same message. So I was thinking, okay,
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter. I can still go there even though that message. So
Yeah.
that's why I went there.
So I just want to drill down a little bit on that. So the code that you shared with Tim Watkins,
I put it in
who
his
you said is
chat.
the
I open up his chat
Okay.
and I paste it in there and say, here, look at this pattern. This will solve what you're looking
Yeah.
for, And he came back within like 4 or 5 minutes and said, no, I can't use this. Okay.
Right.
I'm sure
So
he's trying to.
it's not been deployed at MasterCard.
I'm sorry?
It's not in use here. It's not at use here in MasterCard then.
No, it's not deployed anywhere. It was, like I said, it was a suggestion. Here's what you can do to solve that
Yeah.
issue. And you can take the pattern, you can go to Discovery and then upload it, and then the pattern will then do what you asked it to. But he didn't do that. So
Yeah.
he just declined it. Whatever.
He declined it. Okay. Did Charles Schwab know that you had retained this code that or this pattern that you created for them?
I don't know. So the guy I was working with, Mike Ravis, he knew I was working on Discovery, so writing
Is
the
Mike
pattern.
Ravis an
So
American?
if you go to BMC's support pages and they have what's called community. On the community page, you can upload any pattern you want and save it there for other people to use. People do that all the time. If you go to BMC community website, you're gonna see share templates there all the time. So I did that, uploaded to BMC. Hey, this is what you can do to find locations. and then I downloaded it when I got home, and I put it on Blackout Surfer to remember what it's like, you know.
Okay, so BMC is a software provider?
Yes,
Okay, and they have a support community where you can upload these sorts of patterns that you've created for other entities?
exactly. Yeah, I do that.
Okay.
Everybody does this. You know, there's a BMC community website, and you can go there and find patterns. I mean, the pattern is not long; it's like this long, you know. So you can copy the pattern there, or you can attach it as a file, and it'll be shared with anyone on that community. So as part of that community, I could have actually gone to the BMC community website and downloaded it from there, and nobody would have noticed. I just went to my website because I knew how to look for it. On BMC's communities, it's very difficult to find anything. So trying to do a search for it would take me forever. So I went place that I knew I would find it quickly. You know, I could have printed it out, typed it in manually, it would be the same thing. Here I was just saving time by copy and paste, you know.
Okay. All right. So, but you're saying Charles Schwab never knew about your retaining
I haven't looked at it in
files.
years. I'm pretty sure they knew I had a blackholesurfer.com, and they knew I was saving things there. Okay, so whether they know whether I had that particular pattern, I don't know.
Yeah.
You could ask
How
my
do you know
brothers.
that they knew? Like, did you specifically discuss it with them that you were maintaining those files, or?
Well, I was working with Mike Ravis, who was my director at the time, and you know, any patterns that we wrote, we wanted to save it somewhere. So whether it was their website or my website, at this point, I don't remember. Actually, I have to tell you, I had an accident earlier this year. There are things I don't remember from a couple of years back until I see them, and when I see them, I remember. So
Okay.
I can't remember everything that happened at Charles Schwab, you know, to be honest.
Right. Okay, so Mike Ravis was your manager there, and any patterns that you and Mike wrote were either saved on the BMC community forum or on your personal website,
That's right.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to let Pallavi in really quickly. Hi, Pallavi. We had already started this interview. Just to catch you up really quickly, I am an attorney in MasterCard's Business Conduct Office, and we're looking at a potential policy violation by Daniel Hetsky. I'm just asking him some questions related to that. I did explain to Daniel that I'm just a fact finder. I don't make any decisions on next steps. My job is just to, look at what information I was provided by Insider Threat, understand from Daniel what happened, and provide that information to a group of EVPs who then sort of make a decision as to where to go from here. So I'm just trying to gather some information from Daniel right now.
So thank you for the context, Anita. Please go ahead. And my apologies, team, for being late. I just got held up.
No worries at all. We understand it's a Friday too, right? I feel like people go crazy on Fridays because they want to get everything done before the weekend. Okay, so Daniel, we were talking about the patterns that you created at Charles Schwab. So again, you said that any patterns that you wrote there, you had to save it somewhere. So either it was saved on BMC community website or on your personal website, right?
Yeah, and I think it is in the BMC community website. I just couldn't remember what the search pattern was. But on my website, I can search fairly easily because it's all clustered under TPL patterns, and one of them patterns it had a name on it, like getting file names or something like that. And so I knew where to look faster than I could on BMC website. No.
Yeah, understood. So was this the only time when you shared with you said the name was Tim?
Watkins. Yeah, Tim
was this
Watkins. Yeah,
Tim
that
Watkins.
was the only
Was this
time.
the-
I mean, I've been trying to convince these guys to give me access to be more involved with me because I'm restricted by what's called separation of duties. But as far as BMC software, I worked on everything there. Okay, there is no separation.
Yeah.
I worked on everything, so I know everything. I know Discovery, I know CMDB, I know Smart IT, Remedy, Server, whatever, because I worked there for 20 years. Okay, so I worked on different projects over the time, so I'm familiar with everything. So what I was trying to do is, hey, put me in a place where I can actually make a difference a little bit better than just looking at the CMDB or Spoon Jobs, whatever. And pretty much I was told, well, separation of duties prevents us from doing that. So we're just gonna keep you working on this. But I started working on Discovery, and then they pretty much moved me over to CMDB exclusively. So right now I'm working on CMDB stuff, running SQL queries and creating update patterns. But you know, I remember that there was a solution for something that Tim was asking for, so I wanted to share that with him. So I went to the website.
Okay, that's really helpful. So I want to talk a little bit more about your website because our Insider Threat team found that there were actually 7 posts that were made during your employment at MasterCard as well.
Okay.
And those posts contain some sort of SQL code, and
Yep.
5 of them actually mention MasterCard. So we did look to see, I didn't, but our team, our Insider Threat team looked to see, and it was apparently, it had 3,706 views as of yesterday. And again, because those codes reference MasterCard, that's a little concerning. So we wanted to understand from you.
Okay, wait a minute. Can you tell me what had 3,000 views? I haven't seen any that volume anywhere in a while.
Yeah. So it was just, it said, let's see, I can read it to you. Give me 1 second. I just gotta ping in. Okay. Let me pull up the file and see what they said. My computer is so slow when I'm trying to, I might have to turn off my video to get this to work. Okay. Oh, so slow. Okay. 7 posts on the forum blackholesurfer.com.
Yep.
Let's see. They contain SQL code,
Yep.
appear to be posted during business hours.
Yep.
And it says they've already accumulated a total of 3,706 views as of September 11th.
Wow. How can they tell? Because nobody has access to the website. Nobody can penetrate the security level. Let's try to log in. I can go there and then try to log in. You can't. So there's no way you can see these patterns. Nobody can see these patterns.
Okay, let me just show you what they provided us. Hold on a second.
Now there are people trying to hack my website, yeah, but that doesn't really count as somebody looking at the data because that data is protected. I'm constantly.
Well, so they were able to view it. They were able to view it. So I'm assuming.
What did they take my username and password? I mean, how else are they going to?
No, they were able to view that code. Here, I'm just going to share my screen. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I thought I had it protected, but maybe you're right. I mean, maybe it's public. I mean, let's see.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble getting this thing to work. Oh, what's happened? Sorry. Is it sharing anything?
No.
Try again.
I'll go there right now.
Can you see now?
Where's this window? Yes.
Okay. So this is what they provided us, right? They went through each of the 7 posts. And you can see, oh, did it stop sharing? Oh, no.
No, I see it. Wow, so I had no idea you could see this. It's protected with a password, so I don't know how you got through that. Hadatilla is my username, and what did they take my password or something, or what happened?
No, they don't do that. They don't know how to do that. They would not try to hack your password or anything. If they have access to it, it's just what they were able to find on the website.
Okay, let me take a look here.
And they can see how many views there were. So
Oh.
as you can see, this number for that first one, and then all the different 7 posts have different numbers of views. You can see the next one.
Okay, so I had a security setup on this. You were not supposed to see this. Okay, wow. I can see it right now without logging in, so you're right.
Yeah.
This needs to be, I'll need to change this, but, okay.
So Daniel, just to be clear, it isn't just that you need to make it so that no one else can see, just you. We just need you to take this down completely. So the way MasterCard is, and I can't speak for Charles Schwab or any other organization that you've worked for, but any data, any codes, patterns, anything that you create for MasterCard while you're here, we consider it our proprietary information, and it cannot be taken outside of MasterCard. So I know as a developer, it's something that you guys do, you save your code, but at MasterCard, at least that code, anything that you create for us belongs to MasterCard.
Okay.
Okay, so I would need you to take this down completely. So all these 7 posts that you put up while you were at MasterCard, I will need you to take them down and delete them. And then if you have retained these codes, these patterns anywhere else, I need you to delete those as well. I know it's inconvenient to have to recreate if you were to go elsewhere, but unfortunately that is, what our policy states. We also, just separately as a note, our code of conduct specifically says that we don't want employees to bring any information from their previous, employer into MasterCard. So even, any Charles Schwab materials, we don't want you bringing it into MasterCard and sharing it here. So my next set of questions kind of that. But I wanted to understand, just related to this, are there any other patterns or code or anything else that you created while you were at MasterCard that you have retained separately?
What I can do is look by the date since February to see if there's anything over there like that. So there's, let's see, there's that code that you just shared with me.
Mhm.
There's, looks like I actually updated a couple times. There's another one from August. Wow, you're right. There's 16,000 views of this thing. What?
Yeah.
1,600 views of this. I had no idea people could see this. This was supposed to be protected with a password and a username. So I'm kind of shocked right now that that happened. But I hear what you're saying. I need to resolve this.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. One of the things we hope for when we talk to someone in the course of these investigations is that they are cooperative and they understand where we're coming from. So I really appreciate your seeing our point of view and agreeing to delete them. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
So just again, these were created for MasterCard, right? So far, it's just these 7 posts. Are there any others that you see or anything else?
So the
that
one
you
on
may
your
have created?
screen, the one on your screen is definitely from. Wait a minute, that's March. No, 9/03/09. Okay, September 3rd. Yeah, that was definitely created here at
Yeah.
Mastercard, and let's see. There's one from last year.
There's a few others that represent.
So there's one from August 6th, and that one is okay. I'll take care of all this stuff.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you could, go through and see if you've retained any other files, patterns, codes, anything from MasterCard anywhere, if you could go ahead and delete them and make sure they're deleted from your trash as well. So not just, sometimes we maintain files on a personal computer or personal email account or whatever. But when we get rid of them, they're still in the trash somewhere or
Okay.
recycle bin or whatever. If you could
Right.
just make sure they're fully gone so that there's no MasterCard related information, files, code, patterns, anything on outside of your MasterCard.
Okay.
Like,
Also, I
okay.
did post something on the BMC communities that's the same code right here. So I wanted to share it with people at BMC. So if you want me
Yeah.
to remove that as well, let me know.
Please. Yes, please do. So
Okay.
anything created for MasterCard shouldn't be put outside. I think we may be more risk averse, I think, than some other companies. Some other companies don't take these kinds of security issues as seriously. But MasterCard, our insider threat team is very, very strong. Our corporate security professionals are very good, and they're very protective of our data, right? So we just want to make sure our name isn't out there at all.
I'll take care of it. And if I
Yeah.
can say, this SQL code does not break any security levels. All it does, it identifies data. That's it. Yeah.
It identifies data, right? Okay. Yeah,
So
I haven't looked at
unless you have
SQL.
access to the website, there's nothing you can do with it anyway,
But
Yeah.
does it give, if hackers wanted to do something inappropriate with our data sets, would this give them any insight as to how it's structured or anything of that sort?
So you have attackers would first need to have access to the database, which this is for a development database. This was created on a development database. So they would first need to penetrate BMC security to get to it. And the structure that you see in the SQL query is common knowledge about BMC common data models. All of these fields, BMC base element, these are tables that are worldwide known. There's no secret about these. This just really just showing how to put it together to get certain data. That's all.
Okay, perfect. That's really helpful. Thank you. Okay, so then I wanted to ask you, aside from MasterCard code, right? Insider Threat also identified that you had downloaded 2 zip files from your website, from this Black Hole Surfer website.
Right.
So one was titled mywork.zip.
Yes.
And it was downloaded on August 8th. It appears to contain 30 files that are related to Charles Schwab.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what these are?
So those are the discovery patterns, all in the one bundle. All the work that I did at Charles Schwab, I wanted to take a look at it to see if we can use it at MasterCard. That's what that is. And so, I mean, I could have downloaded it to my Macintosh and look at it, but I didn't know it wasn't going to be an issue to download it to my system here and look at it to see if we can find anything of use in there. That's all.
So here's the thing, right? So again, our code of conduct doesn't want you using anything developed for or at another entity. So we expect you to come in completely fresh. I'm going to stop sharing because I feel like that's what's causing this lag. Give me a second.
No worries. I mean, I'm not gonna have any defense for you for that. I'm just gonna say that when you create something, it's complex, and to remember it later, it hurts.
I know.
So you have to recreate from scratch, especially when you're not allowed to actually put that anywhere. So the only way I can demonstrate something as a solution is by having an example, and that's what I did with Tim. Say, hey, look, there's an example that I think, I don't know if I got this directly from their website or if I copied it from the pattern itself that I already had on my hard drive. But that everything I do, I put on /lab hotkey, so everything that's downloaded would be on that drive. Yeah.
So did you end up using anything from from Charles Schwab in your work at MasterCard? So I know you downloaded to reference it, but did you actually use it? Did you actually pull any data, any queries from there?
No. No.
Perfect. Good. That's very good, because otherwise you have to go back and just
No, there was nothing with
Um,
Charles Schwab in there. You know, if you saw Charles Schwab in there, it would be in the name of the company because he hard coded. Just like you see it in your SQL query, it has MasterCard in there. So when you're looking
Yeah.
for things, you have to put in the company name, so that name would be
Ah.
included in the query to find a matching company. But there's no data associated with it whatsoever.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's see. And you said you didn't share these files with anyone else,
No.
right?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
No.
perfect.
Nobody else business other than mine. And
Okay,
like I said, I had
perfect.
no idea any of that was shared, visible on that website. That
Yeah,
it's supposed to be locked down. That's why I have a password on there, and I'm shocked that you can get to it. Okay.
I understand. It can be a shock, these things. So the second file, favorites.zip, was downloaded on April 18th.
Which one?
What was that one? It's called favorites.zip.
That was a collection of URL websites, I think. Favorites.txt. So I wanted
Collection
to. There was a link. I couldn't remember what the path to the link was. So the only way I remember is pull it from that file, and then pull it. I think it was probably a BMC path or something. So I
Okay.
downloaded it to look at it and then use it here to go to that path. Of course, different path at Charles Schwab. But when you look at BMC stuff, everything is the same, except for the company name. So if you switch the company name to MasterCard, you're gonna get the same link at MasterCard.
Okay. Okay. This wasn't proprietary code or anything of that sort.
No, like I said, it was Internet Explorer favorites. That's all it is. Yeah.
Perfect. That's helpful. Okay. Neat. And then, sorry, I had one more question for you, just make sure. Oh, so we did find referenced in your website, well, not when I say we, I mean the Insider Threat team, because they bring it to us. But they found referenced the word block, which we assume is one of your previous employers as well. We just wanted to know, what block is that? Is it Block Square, like the
H&R
payment
Block.
company?
H&R.
H&R Block. Okay, Block refers to H&R Block.
Yeah.
That is good, because we were worried about potential antitrust concerns if it was Square, because it is a payment, company. If there were any materials that had been brought to us from that company, it might have been a concern there.
No, there's nothing from any other employee other than the pattern or the script or the SQL
Yeah.
script itself. And again, the reason is because you can't remember everything. Yeah, when you solve something, it takes 3 or 4 months to solve it, and when you solve it, you want to keep it, right? So that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. Just again, MasterCard takes these things really seriously. So we certainly don't want to maintain anybody else's, even if they're just patterns that you created, they don't contain, sensitive data related to the entity. So long as they were created for someone else, we don't want them on our system. Same thing for, if you created a PowerPoint presentation for another company, we wouldn't want it, on our systems. We're just very protective like that. It's actually one of the few things that made it into the code of conduct because we take that so seriously, right? We always say we want to do business the right way. And so this we would consider as the wrong way, sort of taking materials from others. And as for our own materials, obviously we want to protect them. So Daniel, if you could do me a favor and you could go ahead and delete anything related to MasterCard from any personal account that you have, any community website. So, your this Black Hole Surfer website, If you have any other website, I think you may have one called danielhudsky.com or
Yeah.
something.
That's right.
Yep. Does that have any MasterCard information on it?
No, that one doesn't have anything to store on. It's only
Okay.
a link website. So if I add anything there, I would have to edit the page and then go directly to the page. I cannot upload directly. I have to edit directly on the website. And I haven't done that in years, actually. Everything that's on there is just links to PMC stuff that I worked with over the years.
Okay.
Links to knowledge modules that actually they're useful. You know, if you can't find it and you know where it is, that's where I go.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, understood. So if you could then just comb through the Black Hole Surfer website and ensure that any MasterCard related, files, queries, patterns, everything are just deleted, and make sure you haven't retained any of that personally anywhere. Because again, we just want to make sure that anything that connects to MasterCard, anything that is proprietary to MasterCard, created for MasterCard, is fully deleted from
Let me do that.
outside.
I'll do that right away.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Once you do that, if you could just shoot me an email, noting that you comb through the Black Hole Surfer website, you comb through the BNC community website, you have ensured that there's no MasterCard, data there. If you could shoot me an email and just let me know, because that way I can just update insider threat, corporate security, and of course the senior level employees who will be looking at this, that whatever there was, it has been deleted. There is no ongoing issue.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess if I may, I've never heard I never had this discussion before with anyone. This is the first time I'm having such a conversation. So please don't hold it against me. I just didn't know any better. I mean, I'm trying to solve issues and anyway, yeah.
No, understand. Like I told you, my job is to just write down everything that you said, and I'll certainly convey that you didn't realize this was improper, that it is common for people in your job to do this kind of thing, to retain these patterns, because of course they are difficult to put together, and once you do it, you don't want to lose it. So I'll certainly note all of that. If I have any additional questions, I will come back to you. I will certainly engage Elizabeth and Pallavi as well. Most likely, I'll send you an email with any additional questions, just so we don't have to get everybody on the phone again, and CC them so that they can see your response as well. But I will work as fast as I can. Like I said, my goal is to get it to the higher ups by the end of the day today. So if you can just confirm to me the deletion, I can add that to the file, to my report. Yeah.
Yep.
And then feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, I am highly unlikely to have any additional information for you, but I can certainly be your point of contact, right?
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have very little control over this process.
Yeah, no worries. I understand.
Okay.
Waiting 2 weeks without having an income is not convenient for me, obviously, because I have a family I need to take care of.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any impact on your pay during the course of this investigation.
So I cannot log in.
As far as I know.
I cannot log in on the system and finish my Beeline entries because the only way I get to it is through that system. I don't have any other link or any other way to get to it, so I cannot submit my hours. And we're getting emails about, make sure to submit your hours. I'm not going to be able to do that right now.
And you can't do that.
Right.
Let me do this. Let me reach out to PNC, so our HR people, and they might be able to advise us on how to handle that, right? Maybe they can submit it on your behalf, or your manager can, or something to that effect. Okay. So I will just engage them, and I will CC them on an email with you so that you can discuss all that with them.
Okay, so thank you.
Of course. And thank you so much for your cooperation. This went wonderfully. I'm very thankful that you could see sort of the issues here and that you're happy to delete them. We always appreciate when someone is cooperative.
You got it. No worries.
Perfect. Thank you. Pallavi, Elizabeth, do you have any questions for me?
I'm good for now. Thank you for asking anything.
Yes,
Of course.
I as
So
well.
I'll be in touch then.
All right. Thank you so much, Anita.
Thank you.
All right, take care, guys.